listen.
Never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Getting off baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
There is literally no human being on the planet I'd rather be talking to right now than Dick Scott. Manager of the Syracuse Mets. Second time on the Baseballs and Boring podcast. The first time critically acclaimed. Excellent job. Made everybody want to run out and get copies of Chasing Steinbrenner, which is where we first met in 2003.
Correct.
Yeah. So I knew your baseball acumen was off the charts then, and it continues to be. How has this year? First of all, how has this year been different for you? Because I think when we talked last year, you were having a good year, and a lot of what we talked about was sort of Jose Iglesias, about his professionalism and taking the takeaway from that. And I would imagine every time you go through a season, there's sort of tent poles, and there are great examples that you can tell young players, right?
Right, but every season is different too, especially in AAA. If you have a system that is rich with players, it's going to be different in the respect that you're going to have good young players, and that's really exciting, right, from a coach's standpoint, to have a young player try to impact him. And sometimes you have more veteran team, which I think we do this year. We just got Drew Gilbert back. He's been hurt since, he got hurt last year, but he's back playing with us. And a lot of our other guys are 6-year free agents, good guys, but trying to get back to the big leagues, trying to land it either with the Mets or with somebody else. And so every year in AAA is just a little different recipe.
So it's a great segue to what I want to talk about, because there's different ways that you have to manage. You have to manage the young kids. I remember talking about Acuna coming up last year. You're just saying, hey, listen, it's okay. It's cold in April. It's okay, right?
Yep.
But he said he had never played in the cold.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
Or with guys who are 34 years old.
That's right. And then to your point, you have the 6-year free agents. You have the guys who are trying just to keep in the game to a certain extent, and then you have the guys who were sent down. I want to start with the guys who were sent down. You just had a couple of them, Jeff McNeil and Alvarez, and so from your perspective, how does that work? How does it work in terms of managing? You get a guy, they say, we want you to do this. In McNeil's case, he was playing a different position, right?
Correct.
Center field.
Yep.
How does that work, and how did it work?
Well, for such a short stint like that, it's pretty simple. It's pretty much prescribed to us what's going to happen. First game, McNeil's playing second. The second game, he's playing center field. Mm-hmm. And what you try to do is make sure that they get the work that they need and really anything else they need. But then it's just keeping an eye on their game. Is the game running long? Alvarez's case, Francisco Alvarez, he's catching. If the game gets long, our pitchers, if we're throwing 200 pitches, maybe we get him out of the game. He's had 4 at-bats, all those things. But most of it's already scripted out. And just try to keep him healthy, pay attention to those type of things. And then the other thing with rehab this day and age, Rob, is so quick. Guys want to get back, and the teams want them back. So it's not really like it used to be. And I shouldn't say used to be, but it's probably been, 15 or 20 years where rehabs have been a lot quicker. Where it's, hey, I'm ready now. I've had 12 at bats. I'm ready to go.
How do you balance that? How do you judge it? I mean, that's also, I would imagine, the organization why they're dictating, sort of mandating. Okay, we want this and we want this. They're probably also leaning on you. Hey, how's he look? Does he need a couple more days?
Yeah, I talked to Carlos Mendoza. We have people talk. Andy Green is our senior VP of player development. Talk to those guys, give them feedback, and McNeil was swinging the bat well. He's trying the new torpedo bat.
Oh, he is.
Oh, and he is super excited.
Really?
He is excited with it.
Yeah.
And it was good to see, and he hit the ball well here.
Did he use it? When did he start using on the rehabbers?
Yes, just this year.
Just when he got there with you guys, huh?
He was in AA.
Double A.
He was it here. Yeah, but he's very excited with it.
Wow.
And he used a dovetail bat before, which he liked. He won a batting title with dovetail.
Yeah.
And he kind of had that knobless handle and choked up, and this he just feels like it's the one. So
it's
we'll see.
Can I just tell you how refreshing that is? Because ever since the torpedo bat thing took root, we had the Yankees score 20 runs. It's almost like guys don't want to admit that they are excited about it.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'll try it out. But to hear a guy, like you said, say, listen, I love this. This is awesome, right?
Yeah, he's enthusiastic
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
So that's good. But, you know, you talk to the major league manager, you talk to, you know, people in the front office, just try to give them updates. And, you know, with McNeil, it's like he's ready. Like his at-bats were good. He was on time. Second base, you know, Jeff always plays. You know, sometimes he looks like he's not moving as well as other guys, but he gets it done. He has a way. I'm surprised that I asked him about center field.
Yeah, how was that?
He goes, I love playing out there.
Really?
Yeah, so he's found a new life then, so which is good. And so I hope he goes up there and keeps swinging it. Francisco Alvarez, you know, he had a hamate issue. Hand issues are difficult. It's hard to recover. You know, you feel like, okay, the doctors say 6 to 7 weeks. You get to the 6-week point, you start playing. But the thing to remember with him is missed most of spring training because of that. And if you look at it theoretically, he really hasn't played since last September. And so it's a big ask to get ready in, you know, 7, 8, 10 days and now go get him and hit major league pitching, because that's difficult even when you're locked in.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, he'll get it because he's a good athlete and he's an incredibly positive person. So I think it'll just be a matter of time. And plus, the other thing with rehabs too, Rob, is that minor leagues can be such a bore to rehab for a guy who's been in the major leagues. And that's no knock against what we're doing here. It just is. We had Kodai Senga come down last year, and you know, he did a couple of rehab stints with us, and they were fair. He worked on his stuff, but it was almost like, you got to send him back because we're spinning wheels down here right now.
You need the third deck.
Yeah, and he goes back there. His first, unfortunately, got hurt, but he was dealing his first game back.
Yeah.
So I think it's just the bright lights come on, guys get amped up a little bit, and they get locked in.
So that's the thing, is that, and for you as the manager, like you said, you have all these different iterations of guys. And so for you, though, it must be seeing a guy like McNeil, particularly, where he's excited about something. Like, he's excited about the bat. He's excited about playing center field. You must be like, and that wears off, I would imagine, on the kids, too, right?
Yeah. I mean, he was only here for a couple days, but to see Jeff that enthusiastic about it, which is good. And I think he's excited to go back to the major leagues, for one, but then also, hey, I have a new tool in my tool bag, and I want to see how this works against the best pitchers in the game.
Not to keep harping on the bat, but for you, you've been around, you've seen different kinds of bats, like you talked about the knob and everything else. What's your take on it? What's your take? Do other guys use it here? Or?
No, I haven't really seen anybody here use it, but guys are having success. I think it's just putting the barrel where you feel your best spot is for it. And that's what his comment was. Like, this is.
It felt different.
It feels like it's the right spot for me. So we'll see. But look, he won a batting title with a dovetail bat. So.
But that's the thing. It's like.
And that was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Yeah. Now it's a whole new thing.
But you got to evolve. Well, it's all about evolving. But so what? Also, to come back to sort of the other part of it, where you have the younger guys, and then you have a guy, you know, like Brett, or someone gets sent down. You know, that's you had a lot.
Those are probably a little tougher.
Yeah.
Because it's disappointing.
Yeah.
And Brett had a great game the night they told him. He had a 2-run homer off Zach Wheeler, a bomb up into the upper deck, made a couple nice plays, but. I think once they get here and they get playing, it's the playing part's a distraction. It's all that downtime we all have when you're sitting in your hotel room waiting, or you're on the bus thinking about something, or on the airplane. When you get the game, it's kind of a sanctuary. It always has been for players, and he'll be fine once he gets rolling. And plus, he knows the guys, and I don't think it. I don't have a crystal ball, but just. AAA is just going to be, he's got to get his confidence, and if he gets locked in, he's going to be a valuable piece for us.
Because, as for farm director too, you've had to deal with this. Like, we focus so much, and maybe we even talked about it last time, the videos of telling guys are going up, but then, no one gets the videos of you sitting down with somebody saying, all right, we got to get your mind right?
Yeah, people like to deliver the good news. People like to see the good news. But when you're in a room with a 25-year-old guy and he's got tears in his eyes, it's a little tough, and you have to respect that it's their day. And I told you this last time. I know there are some great videos out there. I just feel like it's such a personal moment for the player that, I mean, maybe this day and age with all the social media, it's fine. Guys are like, oh, that's great. I'm glad it's there. I'll have it forever.
Yeah.
But man, we talked about it. If you ask any guy here who's been sent to the big leagues, they will remember where it was, who told them, what city they were in, what team they were playing for, where they flew to meet the major league team. It's like the moment you've waited for as a baseball player your entire life. And I just feel like it should be their honor, not somebody trying to say, hey, listen, you haven't been playing well, and they mess around with them.
Yeah.
I'm not about that.
Yeah. Well, okay, so going back, do you have one instance that was a really tough conversation? And maybe this was even Toronto or with Mets, whatever. Just a conversation that you remember that was really tough, really impactful, really meaningful, whatever it is, but one that jumps out to you?
Well, not naming players,
Yeah.
but I'll say this: releasing players that's their worst day. We just talked about their best day. But the worst day for a player is being released. And they don't know if they're going to catch on with another team at that moment. And stuff just floods in their head. I've had guys crying. I've had guys that were relieved when you told them. But sometimes you can't help but get close to these guys if they're in your system for 5, 6, 7 years. And you get close to them, you appreciate their hard work, but they just get tapped out at a certain level. And now you have to deliver that conversation. And man, I've told guys, hey, look, you can stay in my office as long as you need. Maybe go get them a towel or just a bottle of water. But after that, I go back in. I feel bad too, right? And so it's the part that people don't see. They know it's out there. They hear about it. Hey, this guy got released. But a lot of times it's just like it's a headline, or it's on some site that's like so-and-so was released today. That's a hard day for people.
I see it, we get a chance to see the spring training because things are out and about a little bit more. But you see guys on the phone, they cut down day, you see their faces, you see those things. I'm going to pivot to something more positive. I haven't talked to you since the run last year. I got a chance to be around the Mets a little bit in the playoff run because I wanted to follow around Gibby just to see what he was doing. As he said, best job in the world.
He's the man. Everybody loves him.
Bench coach. But when you see the Mets, and obviously off to a good start now, what are some of the sort of things that you've seen have been sort of the foundation of the success for the last? I know that's a broad question.
It is,
but
and it's quick. It's been like a year with new people coming in. I'll say this: I feel like start with Carlos Mendoza, just a great person, and he has a really good feel for things, not just baseball but people. He's a good communicator. He's very fair. He doesn't have airs about him. And David Stearns is a very approachable guy, and I think they're on the same page. I think the organization is looking in the same and moving in the same direction. It's not different people trying to take power or get more power or take credit. I feel like it's pretty much in check that way. And then I think there's a confidence in our organization now. Like, hey, there's not only expectation, because we've had that, and we had a good year. Buck's first year, we won 101 games. I mean, he did a great job too. And so there's a certain expectation for the organization now. And there's one thing about having an expectation, but there's another thing when the players are. This is what we expect.
It's working, right?
We expect to win games.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh man, I hope we can. We look at it on paper. Guys expect that we're going to win games, and plus, then you learn how to do that. And last year they went all the way to the NLCS, played a very good Dodger team, played them well.
Yeah.
And but I think that's what you want in your organization. You want where this is like, we don't even have to talk about it after a while. This is what we're going to do.
Do you sense
year.
a spring in this step? Like obviously going through spring training, and even whether it's here, whether it's New York, whatever, like an organizational spring in their step?
I think so.
Yeah.
And the players have bonded really well. It's a good group of players up there, and good coaching staff. It really is. I think they've done a good job putting all that together, and we have good players. And obviously, getting Soto is that's pretty good. That's pretty good player.
Yeah. Last thing is, I asked you identify a couple guys that sort of have jumped out so far. So who are a couple guys that jumped out so far for you?
Well, we have a very veteran team here, and we have some guys who've got 2, 3, 4 years in the major league. So without mentioning, I mean, those guys are always in the mix because they have the experience. But Drew Gilbert's here. I mentioned him earlier.
Yeah.
A young outfielder, missed a lot of time last year, but he's back now and playing well.
What impressed, because I know that like he was always on my radar because of the trade and everything else. What jumps out?
Well, he does a lot of things well. Like he runs better than you think. He's got a plus arm in the outfield, can play all three outfield, and he hits the ball hard. He's not a real big guy, but he's physical, and he hits the ball hard. He's got home run power. You wouldn't expect it, but I think he's going to be a very good player. Loves to play, a lot of energy. We have some pitchers here, Brandon Sproat and Blade Tidwell, guys with big arms that are, they're having some ups and downs. But see, for me, like the ups and downs are a good thing. The problem is when you're the guy going through that, it doesn't feel too good.
Yeah. But
you have to go through it because you have to have a point of reference that you can. It's going to keep happening. If you pitch to your 40 or play to your 40, it's going to happen every year. So if you have a point of reference, like, I remember I went through that a couple of times, and this is what I did to get out of it. And so that hadn't happened to probably Tidwell and Sproat until last year when they came here. And then this year, the team across the way, Worcester, they have a very good ball club. They have some good hitting, some good players over there, good hitters. And so it's a good test. And, we sit here and sometimes you lose 9-0 or you win 4-3. But to go through those moments for these guys, that's how they learn. And if you go to the major leagues, I'll give you a good example. Speaking of Toronto, Adam Lind.
Yeah.
This guy hit all the way through the minor leagues.
Yeah.
You know that. Went to the big leagues in September, hit.
Yeah.
Went to the big leagues the next year, and they made an adjustment against him.
Yeah.
And in May, he was struggling.
Yeah.
And you know what? He had no point of reference, and he admits it. Like he went back to AAA, was a shell of the hitter that he was on the way up because it was he never experienced it. It was tough, tough mentally. He put it back together, and then, the rest is history. He got his 10 years or whatever. He's a very good major league hitter. But you have to go through that to really have a perspective on, where am I and where do I want to be?
Well, I remember talking to Jackson Holiday. Obviously, everyone knows the story
Right.
from last year. And, before him, Mike Trout was there. Like, people don't understand. Mike Trout got sent down.
I know. Roy Halladay back in the day, all the way to A-ball. I mean, everybody has seen it. There's just great players that just put themselves back together. But sometimes, like, the first time you experience that in the major leagues, that's really rough then because, you're lost. So I think it's good that guys go through it. Like I said, it's painful. Nobody likes it. But like I tell the guys, it's not the adversity that's the problem. It's the dealing with the adversity. That's the tough part. And that's the challenge. Like adversity, I mean, this is baseball. Life has adversity.
Baseball is life.
Right.
Well, they're lucky to have you. Thanks, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.